And this is Press Review. Today I'm joined by Ambrose Weathers, a lawyer and a canon, as well as former Mwingi Central Member of Parliament, Joe Mutambo. Welcome to the show, gents. It's time to take a look at what's making headlines. And today, let's start off with the Standard. The top story today is conned in 23 minutes. The 39 billion fake arms scam. And being mentioned on the top page are, of course, various public figures that are in connection and the connection they have to this particular saga. We have Chief of Defense Forces General Samson Mwatete. Ruto suggests a Chesacon team might have met at DOD. Then we have the Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo. The fake deal dates back to last year when she served as a Defense CS. Then Defense Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, her signature was used in fake tender documents, while former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa, who has been named adversely in this particular story, as said to be the mastermind of the scam, now in custody on forgery and fraud claims. But we have the Deputy President coming out strongly, giving a statement saying, other than 23 minutes in annexed for months, which government officers involved in the tender did the scammers visit? Did they access DOD? Who facilitated and who did they meet? Get the truth. And he has said this is a paid nonsense being fronted, or rather put out there by the media. What do you make of this one, Mr. Weather?
Thank you so much. I think if you're talking about arms deal, arms,
yes,
weaponry, firepower,
yeah,
you are talking about big people, big government.
Right.
You're not talking about Joe Mutambo here conning us about locusts. You're talking about a government to government and all these things.
Right.
Therefore, the con people would not ordinarily speak to ordinary people. They will speak to big people, and then they will speak to big power. That is why when you meet, let's say, in the Deputy President's office, it gives it a name. Credibility.
Yeah.
You're like, all these things. Yeah. But like the Deputy President seems to be saying, you can't talk about without talking about the military. You can't talk about without talking about the minister concerned. You can't talk about without talking about procurement.
Yeah.
All these things must have been knitted together. You knit them together, then you come up with a scam. Whether or not it was a con is difficult to tell. It could have been a deal that was in another way and people are going to make money. Then eventually it has gone sour. And then you have General Echesa masterminding it. But he couldn't have masterminded it from the streets. Oh, yeah. He masterminds it from inside. So those who are inside, Echesa will tell us, is it the Deputy President, is it the DOD, is it Rachel Mamo, all these people. But when you look at all these people, I think my President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta got some crooks around. So that every corner we are talking about this scam or that scam or this game or that game. I wish you just got a few people who just wants to work and they work and they work. Now we are talking about 23 minutes, a sacked government person going into the Deputy President's office, talking about and meeting people. Surely, aren't they busy working?
Right.
So this one, they need to tell us more. They should not now come to us and tell us it was only 23 minutes. We want to see the footage, the videos, how they were meeting. We want to see the papers. Let them be flashed. Let them not take us for a ride, because we are angry as a people. We're already angry. Joe Mutambo here is very angry about it. He wants to know the truth.
Now, the further details in this story tell us that to some, Daniel Omondi is also known as Mohamed Sabo. This is one of the people involved in this and is a Kenyan Defense Forces pilot. Yet to some, he is General Omondi, one of the investors in the fake deal, told police that he knew one of the fake investors told the police that he knew him as Mohamed Sabu and the pilot involved in the joint operation between Kenya, KDF and US in Somalia. Whenever he met with investors or suppliers, he was always accompanied by a bodyguard and an escort of vehicles. I mean, just assuming I guess, putting up a facade, I would imagine, to give himself more credibility. And I imagine that goes hand in hand with that particular meeting that you're talking about, the 23 meeting. If it happened at that venue, then it would lend a touch of credibility to a possible deal, whether fake or not.
You know, there's a lot of comedy in this country of ours. In every field, you find so many comedians, and they are trying to get living, to find some living. One, from where I sit, I have a lot of faith within institutions. We are put in place in institutions, investigative institutions, led by one Abo Kinoti. Kinoti is one qualified officer who is in a position to know who is telling the truth and who is lying. He has able officers who are well funded by the government. For me and Weda to pronounce in meetings, in rallies, in funerals, that go arrest so and so, I need to take a ride to Kinoti's office and I tell him that I have this and that evidence. Weda will tell you, because he's a lawyer, one, this is a matter which is in court. And there is a level which we cannot discuss it. But the shell of it is that people are mentioned. People are insinuating that arrest DP, arrest this, arrest that. What I know as a politician is this. We have so many consultant people. Consultancy is legal. It's allowed. And people would want to do business out there. What we are talking about here, like Wedas alluded, we are talking about weapons. There is a way government do business.
Yes, this is true.
Government do not just buy. There is a procedure of procuring. And there are also some items which you will never see on your newspapers or advertised anywhere. And the people have known that there are some restricted tenders. And out of that knowledge, they position themselves in a manner that I can be able to procure or to help you get this deal. The bottom of this matter lies within the DOD. Because once we get the figure, there must be the items. What are these items? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's any conman out there who will come out with the figures. We want to procure these guns, and they know the names of the guns and the price of the guns and everything, without having some details. So, like what I'm saying, there must be some information coming, trickling down from somewhere. And that information, where it came from, the person who has got the capacity and the power to investigate, to know the origin, the source of this is DCI. Others, we are just talking about symptoms. And we will not cure the problem.
The root problem.
The root, the cause root. The person who has that ability is not the politician, not me, to say, you know, go and arrest this. It is the DCI who will be able to know that these people were walking around with documents, where now the matter goes to court. It will go to court, and I'm sure that is why one Kshs is charged on with one thing.
And you know,
either forgery. If the signatures on those papers were not for the people who are supposed to sign, and their signatures which bears the name of Ambrose Weda or Joe Mutambo, and I am not the one who signed, then the holder or the person who is holding that document will be held liable for forgery. But stealing I don't know.
Yeah.
Ambrose is a lawyer. He'll tell us how someone will prove that there was stealing. What we are being treated is the huge figures. Maybe those figures is what was on the deals, on the papers, there was this deal. But did that 59 or 39 billion exchange hands?
Right.
If they were, there must be some traces of bank transfers and all. So let us not just amplify things which are not there.
And speaking
Let us treat the issues as they are. And if it is forgery, the cases of forgery are in court, a lot of them, and I don't hear people talk about it.
And you know, if it's a question of them just being amplified, we have the DP accusing the media of just being paid off to spread this story. And then we have the CS's Rachel Omamo and Monica Juma remaining mum on this matter. General Mwathethe too has not responded to any queries regarding this story. Then we have the Director of Communications, Bogita Ongeri, denying knowledge of any such meeting happening at their offices. So do you think it's too much, this being splashed across the papers?
I think Kenyans, please, the arms deals are not new. They've been there over the years. Kenya is at war in Somalia and so on and so forth. If there is one thing that you talk about in the world, it's about arms deals, arms race, arms deal. We used to have somebody called Kshs, arms. So this is not, if you ask me, my intuition tells it's not something fake.
Yeah.
It is not something which never was. When you are talking about states and people buying arms, there are, first of all, licenses, authority required, all sorts of high security issues. You must be a super con man from Pluto or Mars or Jupiter, sanctified by Lucifer himself, for you to pull out this one. This one, what we can see is that there is correct information from inside. There was correct work inside. But some people who are smart also are trying to make their money in between. And I think the deal now will be used to also hurt some others.
Yeah.
You understand? But otherwise, it can't just be fake. I don't think there's anybody who would want to buy arms and then give commission and it is all fake. Say locusts. If you are selling locusts, it would work. But if you are selling arms, I'm telling you no. So you can see that the DOD should know something about it. My big sister Rachel should know about it. All these guys, they know about it. And then I think it was the ugali may have been poured on Mheshimiwa Ruto's office.
Yeah.
He may have known or may not have known. But where a lot of this money is passing, I'm telling you, the whole team knows it. Otherwise, you know what is called the NSIS? You can snooze about locusts, it will escape them. But when you are talking about arms deals. Even if you imported just five pistols, Seska, 5 of them, from Uganda all the way here, they will know. Someone will say, there was this. So we are not talking about, let them not take us for a ride. Let them just say, if they think this is good enough to arrest the DP, let them arrest it so that we move on to removing the locusts. If they think they want to reorganize things, but let's not treat us to theater. We are no longer such foolish as they think. This deal, they know about it, and I think it is true.
Okay.
The deal was there. The big people are involved, but I think there's a small limb that they want to use to sacrifice some people. And Kshs found himself. See, Kshs is the guy who was found with billions or who. You know, you don't move around with billions unless you are in the billions circle.
Yeah.
So they're taking us for a ride.
As it were, the DP has said, my office does not procure for any ministry or department, says Ruto, as footage shows his aides were present when former Minister Rashid Kshs met Polish dealers in the DP's boardroom. This is according to the Daily Nation. If you want to know more about this unfolding saga, you can take a look at that paper and get more details. But let's move on to another big story.
Before we
Honorable
there's one thing we need to tell Kenyans. Because I interact with the power, I interact with business people. There is a notion with business people that when I visit a country, I want to see the leaders of that country so that I feel comfortable. I'm also a businessman, and I go outside the country, and I get satisfied when I meet a top-notch officer, someone who can guarantee me that whatever I'm doing in that country, my security, my everything is guaranteed, so there's nothing to worry. Some others even demand to see the president, not because they want to do the business with the president, but they just want to get that comfort. So it is normal. I want to tell you, it is normal. It happens on daily basis.
Right.
People come, they pay. What is the meaning of a courtesy call? When somebody pays a courtesy call to somebody's office, what do they discuss there? Do they discuss business? They don't discuss business, but they get that comfort. That courtesy is to make you feel you are in a secure country and you have been received by the owners of the country. So in this scenario, people might have demanded, you know what, we want to see the higher officers in this country, be it president, be it a deputy, be it this powerful minister, I want to meet him, and people would want to go there and have a meeting with him. And maybe whatever they are discussing has got nothing to do with the procurement. It could be a courtesy call. And because Kshs is aligned to that team, maybe he gave them that comfort. You know what? I have this boss whom you can meet for you to know that this deal is real, and we can go to this office. And once they see people saluting, going like this, so they get that comfort. So it's not that when we go to church, you are given sacrament and you are told that this is the body of Christ. That does not mean it has been sliced from Jesus Christ. It's a belief, and that is what happened, and that is what is happening in our country. And to loop somebody in that you are involved in this because these people came in. It is as good as saying anybody who landed in this country, the person who is in charge of this country is involved. There are so many scamming activities going around, and top police officers don't know. Maybe the juniors know. But you cannot go and say it is the top police officer. You cannot say it is the president. You cannot say it is the minister. You cannot say it is what. Because these are things which are happening, and it is those who are doing this business who should be worried of how they are transacting. And we should not drag other people when the deal goes wrong.
And even the footage does not show them meeting the DP. It's just them at the boardroom for a few minutes before, exiting. So it's neither here nor there that they were at the venue, unless, as Mr. Weda says, they have more evidence that implicates the deputy president. It is just what it is, as it's seen on the various stories. Now, let's shift gears to a story that involves the environment. And Mr. Weda, I'm sure you'd be interested in this one. We're talking about Lake of Poison. We're told Lake Victoria, ironically described as one of the world's largest freshwater bodies and our major source of fish, is rotting as industries, institutions, and fish farmers serve it with lethal mix of poisonous filth. And we go further to it exploits some levels of the poisonous effluent that is put into the river. It's deadly, and the rivers leading into the lake are reduced to just sludge and just filth going through those areas. And we're told that 3,000 is the number of inmates, remandees in Kodiaga maximum security prison. The jail emits raw sewage into the river Saka, which deposits into Lake Victoria, and that's where we get the fish that we're consuming. I think at least over half of the country is. So what do you make of this, Mr. Weda?
Oh, the state of Lake Victoria is not new. It is the lake has been mishandled, is mistreated.
Yeah, but it's not right, is it?
How would it be right? The former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga's company called the institution at Otonglo. It's been discharging chemicals into that lake over the years. And there was very little anybody could do. You go to other companies, other factories, they discharge.
Right.
Let me tell you, for years, you cannot scoop water from Lake Victoria and drink. It smells. That has been there over the years. These leaders who are singing Tialala Tibim, the lake has been abused. You go there and you just wish, Wangari Maathai, can you come back to life and see what these guys are doing to us? It has been abused. The only little thing which has been addressed is we've stopped washing cars in the lake. Before we would take in all our dirty vehicles. And then as you eat the fish, you wash it in there. And the lake becomes dirty. But otherwise, there are various institutions that are discharging raw sewage. I think even the county, because where they do the raw sewage near Otoglo, I think that eventually the water also flows into the lake. It is a curse unto us and a curse unto every Kenyan who love fish. But until one day we address it in a very, very pragmatic manner.
Right.
It is a sad state of affairs. You cannot walk into that big freshwater lake and draw water like this because it smells.
It's filthy.
That I would challenge anybody go today. But the leaders, all the leaders who are concerned, all the leaders who see it, the governor sees it, the deputy governor sees it, Prime Minister Raila Odinga sees it, all the MPs sees it, all the MCAs, all the bishops, all the pastors, all of us, we are seeing. But we have ignored because God gave it to us free, and we think God was not very brilliant, and therefore we misuse it. One day, so when you hear people waking up and saying they have cancer in their legs, they have cancer in their throats, they have cancer in their chests, they want to blame, I think, God. But it is us. It is the water we drink, because the same water that also comes to our rivers, and we drink them. It is true what they have done. I wish they did it again and again and again, but I just plead to the hearts of people who are in leadership. Please address these things. Otherwise, we thank God that there is the payment. It is here. It comes in form of diseases. And we thank God that the disease affects everybody. He does not discriminate. Otherwise, if it was for the poor people, they would have continued to pollute and pollute. But it works very well. It is a sad state of affairs.
Now, this is Paul Wafula's story, and he writes about some of the metals that are found in the waters, and we're told we can find lead, quite poisonous, cadmium, chromium, zinc, iron, copper, and manganese, and this goes into the fish that we are consuming. At the same time, we're told that 12 species that were previously found at the lake have disappeared, and only the Nile perch has adapted to the filth. But by adapting, we mean it's consuming these poisons and basically surviving. But then
let me explain something about fish. There is there's the fish with scales. Now, the fish with scales, the scales are capable of preventing or protecting the skin of the fish from the poisons, from mercury, from lead. You understand that?
Yes.
And then that is a fish that normally floats. Now, there is the mud fish, the lungfish that goes down and the skin is flat. Now, that one has no power to protect. And then they feed from the bottom of the lake. Therefore, they take all these poisons. Now, interestingly, those are now the delicacies. They are delicacies, especially of the Luo community and the Loya. I'm telling you, it is such a sad state that, you see, I'm not as sparkling as Joe Mutambo because I've eaten this fish, which is abracadabra, it has gone. It is very sad. So let's be careful with the fish we eat.
Honorable Mutambo.
I think that's a very interesting subject.
Yes.
I want to tell you, I was in Kshs myself last year, and I personally, with my officers, issued orders to close down some industries.
Right.
In Kshs. What happened? The following morning, they went to court with those orders, and the court said, no, you cannot issue this. They lifted our orders. We are a country where we abide to the law.
Yes.
I want to tell Kenyans what they are going through today. The institution, which is the Water Resource Authority, which is mandated by the law to take care of all the waters in this country. The court has got powers of us. And when we issue the orders, people run to court and they say, you know what? Water Resources Authority came here, they want to close down our factory, blah, blah, it will affect businesses, we have 1,000 people, we'll sack them all. So the judge says, no, you cannot.
Yeah, the overtime.
What I want to tell them to understand is, that judge who is making that order to stop our business as Water Resources Authority, as the regulator, trying to deny Kenyans their services,
right,
is actually the one who is killing the Kenyans. Because Kenyans, in extent, they will come and consume what has been poured in that river, what we were protecting. Once we see there's a need to close a factory, we do so with a lot of caution. We know that some people may lose some jobs.
Yes.
We know it may affect the living of some few people there, but you better lose a job other than losing a life.
Yeah.
And this is what we do. But we are facing a lot of challenges. I want to say this openly, that I gave orders to close Coca-Cola in Kisumu, myself. And what is happening today? They are still operating. They disregarded those orders, and they were discharging direct, raw effluent direct to the river. If you see what was going to that lake, I will want to bet you will never eat a fish. You are talking about I don't know, Kingongo prison, or what prison did you mention? Odiaga prison.
Yeah.
If I give you the scenario of Shimo Latewa, if you have a vision or dream of going to swim in Mombasa, you will never enter into that sea, if I tell you this. But when Mutambo stands to speak, you will be told, you will be treated, you are going to affect tourism, you are going to do this, the hotels. I want to tell you, and I have no fear to mention this, most of the hotels in Mombasa, they do not have a sewer system. They discharge at night, direct to where you go to swim. Those people are going to. And I'm telling you, Kenyans, I fear nothing, because it is the truth. If I don't tell you, the conscience will kill me.
Yeah.
This is what I've found in the place I'm working.
And your hands are tied.
And my hands are tied.
So, I mean,
once we issue orders to stop,
they
run to court.
So
and I can do nothing.
Nobody is against the tourism industry. Nobody is against manufacturing as it is. But then what would be the solutions?
Well, the solution is the Kenyans to bite the bullet and understand it. If this hotel is discharging direct, it doesn't matter how many people you are employing. If this factory is polluting, it doesn't matter how many jobs you are giving to kins of Mr. Weda or Mr. Mutabu. Please shut it down, get it correct, because there are measures.
Yes.
We tell you what to do. If you don't follow that, close the shop, you have no business to operate. Not only Kisumu, even here in Nairobi.
Right.
We have so many industries here who discharge direct to the rivers. Direct.
Yeah.
We have water bodies, the service providers, who are in charge of sewer systems. I want to tell you, what you are being treated in Nairobi, you cannot imagine. You take a ride to the rivers of Nairobi, you will cry. But those who are responsible, when you go there, you are told, no. This is a government institution. Don't close it down. Don't touch it. Don't do this. Don't do this. And now I'm wondering, here you gave me powers to operate. And when I go there, I stamp my authority. I'm told this is a government institution. Sit down and talk. What do we talk when Kenyans are dying?
Yes.
It is so painful. And I'm telling you, I'm facing a lot of challenges in where I'm working as a regulator and as a person who is in charge of these monies.
Yes.
I am the person in charge. When you mention any water source, you mention Motambo. I am the person in charge, and I have gone through that. I have even gone to Kisumu, and I want to highlight this openly. I found somebody building a petrol station on top of a river. And what happens, the diesel and the petrol, the spillage will go direct to the lake. And we gave orders. That person, I'm told, is still continuing to build with a lot of impunity.
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to do? I'm only supposed to take them to court.
Yeah.
When I take them to court, the court tells them, no, continue. You have a title deed.
Clearly, we have touched on enough, but then as we're exploring possible solutions, you're told, for example, of Kodiaga prison waste, the waste lagoons do not work at all. Its sewer lines overflow during rainy seasons, and that ends up in River Saka, and obviously, which drains into the lake. So when it comes to the initial stages, let's talk about maybe the construction of buildings and hotels. Aren't there requirements that these buildings have a proper drainage system that could cater to the capacity of that institution or of that building or whatever establishment it is, so that before they are allowed, the blueprints provide for that, so that before they start putting effluent into, let's take the example of the hotels, they have a way of managing their own waste.
That is the procedure.
Yes.
Any hotel construction, you are supposed to do this by the law. You must put a biodigester, which cleans whatever the waste. Then whatever you are discharging, it is good to. It cannot affect the environment. This is what they are supposed to do.
Ideally.
Let me tell you this, and I want Kenyans to take this as newsbreak. There is no sewer system in the coastal region. It does not work. It collapsed, I don't know how many years ago. There is no proper sewer system in Kisumu. I'm announcing this as a government officer. There isn't. They are not there. And there are so many buildings we have stopped in Mombasa and other places. But the people continue doing so. We have taken them to court.
Right.
And they have been given authority to continue to build as the matter is continued. So what we do as an authority, we have no, our hands are tied. So I want to caution Kenyans that if they are dying out of this outbreak, they should not point their fingers at WRA, where I sit. It is other institutions which are giving permission to do this.
Yes.
City counties, municipalities, they are supposed to make sure that any building coming up, those requirements are met.
Right.
But people are just building left, right, and center. Once you connect yourself to the main sewer line, we don't even ask yourself, what am I taking? Because the capacity of the sewer treatment, they do not treat heavy metals. Right. Those heavy metals are supposed to be treated at the point where they are coming from. And if they don't do this, then that factory has got no business to operate the following morning. Okay. And I'm telling you, we are closing many. And I'm going to close many.
Okay. Well, hopefully, then a solution is taken at the judiciary level so that we are not having the same frustrations that you're talking about.
I think the solution is this. It's called eternal vigilance. People have shirked their responsibilities. The ordinary Mwananchi who is drinking water from the lake, from the river, is seeing raw sewage being discharged and is singing to the leader, hallelujah. Unfortunately for you, the small person, you will not go to America for cancer treatment.
Well, perhaps they feel
you will not go to India. No. Some of these people you just come out and tell them, from today you are not discharging. And it works. If the community comes, the community says, you are not discharging raw sewage from Kodiaga, you are not discharging the raw metals from molasses plant, you are not doing these things, they will stop. But if we just sing and say, hey, is the leader said, they have done tialala, they have done TB, then when they have cancer, they are in America. They are in Britain, they are in wherever. But you go to the local hospital in Mwingi, and you are told that go and take Panadol and go to a prophet to pray for you. That is the sad part. So people, there should be eternal vigilance, because Mangari Madai said, nature is unforgiving.
True.
We thank God that as we pollute our systems, cancer is distributed freely, and it is good, it is distributed across board, from the highest leader coming down, from the churches, mosques, pulpit. That is the fairness God has given us, that when you pollute it, you will not sit and say whether you are a prominent Nairobi lawyer, you are excused. Even if we try bottled water, you have seen every leader is taking bottled water, and they are very keen about it. But we thank God that the crooks are also bringing this water, putting it into bottles, and then selling it to the leaders. So we are all at risk. Thank God that we are all at risk, so nobody is safe.
Nobody is safe.
Let me give Kenyans hope.
Yeah.
From where I sit, what I've decided to do. I've decided to be wrong myself.
Right.
Any factory which is discharging, I will go there personally with the police, and I want to thank administration police because they have been supporting us very much. Because some of the challenges we've been having is when we visit a place and there is such a thing happening, you see the politicians, they have mobilized the people to come and chase us away. I have now employed upon the police officers. They are helping us a lot. And what I will be doing now, I will be going there with a bag of cement, kokoto, and the sand. I koroga, I block that system. Let that filth go inside their offices. This is what I'm going to do myself. And actually, I pronounced myself to my officers last week. I had a meeting with my officers, and I told them, this is what I will do personally. Let that person take me to court.
Yes.
But I will do that to prevent Kenyans from getting these kind of cancers and diseases. If we don't take these dramatic measures, these companies will not stop.
But
if I find a company which is operating and their system is not working, I will simply block it. And I want to ask politicians, because this is where we are getting big issues when we visit those areas, to support us, to make sure that their people are safe. Because if those people die, who will vote for you? If these people are sick, who will vote for you? So I'm asking politicians to keep off our operations. If I want to disconnect Nairobi water today because of what is happening, I can't do it. Because the MCS and everybody will tell, why are you doing this? Our people will suffer, will do this. But it is that water we are giving them which is being taken back. Because what you are drinking, definitely you will take it out in one way or the other. And once you take it out, it will go somewhere. So if there are no systems to take care of what we have taken out, the only option we have as an institution is to shut it down. And the moment we shut it down, then people will get to the solutions.
But you see, you shouldn't have to go down to those measures. The systems should support you in that when you close it up, the judiciary shouldn't be taking back your decisions and bringing you back to square one. So I think the whole system as a whole, while it's quite good and endearing that you would take it upon yourself to do that, I feel like the system should be streamlined. And I'd like Mr. Wede to comment on how the law can actually aid such bodies.
Actually, let me tell you, we have a very robust and courageous judiciary. But we also have people who, we call them regional balancing judges and magistrates. People appointed so that this region also have one of their own. They are armchair decision makers. For instance, if somebody comes to you and tells you, oh, there was a Makamba man who came to our factory to close it because Kambas want the Luos to suffer. They are alleging that we are doing this and that. Therefore, please, people are going to lose jobs. It takes you less than 30 minutes to say, let's see what this Kamba man was doing. And you're driven there. You tell your team, let's go. You will see the discharge and say, surely, even you. Is this what the government was saying? Yes. What do you want us to do? To continue allowing you? But they're just armchair. They're like, oh, we will lose jobs. Yes, the people may not lose jobs temporarily, but they lose their lives. So some judges, especially the regional balancing judges and gender equality judges, are part of a problem. And some of them are generally very thick, indeed, very thick. They are never brilliant at all. So basic decisions that require wisdom. A decision like an environmental decision. There are things you see. You walk in and say, they are saying you are discharging raw sewage into the lake and you are denying it. Twende. Let's go.
Let's see for
You'll
ourselves.
see and say, hey. But they are not in the office writing and painting their nails and making their... I think there must be some pragmatism in dealing with this because it's a matter of life and death.
Okay, let's take a break.
What I said.
I have to cut you short to run out of time.
The matter you are discussing,
yes.
I want to tell you, we are victim. We were taken to court. And what you are discussing today, in Kisumu, I'm telling you what happened last week. It's not yesterday, not last month, last week. That matter was in court, and the court quashed our orders. Yes.
Yeah, which were made for the good of Mwananchi.
Yes.
So let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing more political affairs. Today, we focus on electoral reforms. Do not go too far. You're watching Morning Express.
This is KTN News.